after Israel was rescued from slavery in Egypt, they made a covenant with God at Mount Sinai and eventually came into the Promised Land. And there, Israel was supposed to be faithful to God and obey the covenant commands. Judges showed how Israel failed at that task big time, and it showed Israel's need for wise, faithful leaders. The book of Samuel's story focuses on three main characters. The prophet Samuel, where the book gets its name. Samuel, he's the key leader and prophet in the first section of the book. And then King Saul, and it's told in two movements. Saul's rise to power, and then his failures, tragic death. Death! And after that, King David. First, he rides the wave of his success, followed by his own tragic failure and the slow self-destruction of his family and then his kingdom.
You know what? I'm trying to stay positive.
We're introduced to a touching story about a woman named Hannah. She has never been able to have children. By God's grace, she finally has a son named Samuel. And the poem is all about how God opposes the proud and exalts the humble.
Yep.
About how despite tragedies and human evil, God is working out his purposes in history.
Yeah.
And also it's about how God will one day raise up an anointed king for his people.
Get your numbers up. I had to get my numbers up.
Now, Hannah's poem has been placed here at the beginning of the book to introduce these key themes that we're going to see throughout the whole story.
Nice.
Samuel grows up and becomes a great prophet and leader for the people of Israel. And in this crucial battle, the Israelites get arrogant and they trot out the Ark of the Covenant as this kind of magic trophy that will automatically grant them victory. And so because of their arrogant presumption, God allows Israel to lose the battle and the Ark is stolen. So the Philistines, they take the ark and they place it in the temple of their god. And then the God of Israel defeats the Philistines by sending plagues on the people.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed?
God is not Israel's trophy.
Right, yes. Absolutely.
And he opposes pride among the Philistines, but also among his own people.
Oh, okay.
And so Israel needs to remain humble and obedient if they want to experience God's covenant blessing. The Israelites come to Samuel and they say,
"We want a king. We want to be like all the other nations. Our king will lead and fight our battles."
When Samuel saw that the people were determined to have a king, he spoke again to the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, "Do what they ask you, and give them a king."
Because he begins full of promise. He's tall, he's good looking, he's a perfect candidate for a king.
He's delicious. I mean, I really do mean that. That's a delicious man right there.
But he has deep character flaws. He's dishonest, he lacks integrity, and he seems incapable of acknowledging his own mistakes. And he eventually disqualifies himself by blatantly disobeying God's commands.
I am done with Taylor Swift. Yup.
Samuel confronts Saul and Israel. He had warned the people that they would only benefit from a king who's humble and faithful to God. So he informs Saul that God is going to raise up a new king to replace him.
I'll tell you what you are.
The famous story of David and Goliath shows that God's choice of David is not based on his family status, but simply on his radical and humble trust in the God of Israel.
You are you're snap finger famous. That's the guy. What's the guy that's on the, what's the guy that's on the thing?
So David starts working for Saul as a general, and he's winning all of the battles, and he's also winning all of the fame.
5 minutes later,
Saul gets jealous, and he starts chasing David around, hunting him, trying to kill him. us. And here we see David's true character. He has multiple opportunities to kill Saul, but he doesn't.
One thing I have realized, that if God don't do it, it just won't get done.
So in Saul's story, we see a warning. Reflect on our own character flaws and how they harm us and other people. And with God's help, we need to humble ourselves and deal with our dark sides.
What?
David, on the other hand, is presented as an example of patience and trust in God's timing in our lives. And so David's story encourages us to trust that despite human evil, God is working out his purposes to oppose the proud and to exalt the humble.